Are you a Google Chrome user? Guess what? AI is coming your way to Google Chrome, adding things like filling out forms, organizing your tabs, and even giving you a cool design thing for your background. Come join the Tech Dudes Weekly podcast and learn a little bit more. So it looks like Microsoft has definitely established themselves as the standard for integrating AI into consumer based products. We saw that with an article and a video that we put out last week talking about Copilot Pro and the $20 add on, where you get access to Copilot, their AI within Word, PowerPoint, Excel, so on. As well as obviously Edge browser for doing research projects and collecting your thoughts, bullet points, whatnot, and they're integrating Copilot into just about everything, Teams, and so on and so forth. Well, we think we're starting to see that the rest of the industry has, stood up and said, okay, Microsoft is obviously onto something. We need to be part of that too. So Google is going to come forward and start doing its Me Too moment. It looks like with an introduction to Chrome browser. And I'm going to bring up an article that we saw come up recently from TechCrunch. And Dave, I'm going to ask you to kind of give your first thoughts on it and some of the features that we're seeing being integrated into Chrome.
Yeah, so the article talks about Google Chrome gains AI features, including a writing helper, theme creator, and tab organizer. My fear on this one is everybody's going to say, as soon as I put in some type of bot, it's going to be AI. The interesting thing about this one is it says that the company announced today, it's soon adding a trio of new AI-powered features to Chrome for Mac and Windows. So they're going after both, which is interesting, including a way to smartly organize tabs. Okay, why do I need to organize my tabs when I can just open another? I mean, the memory leak alone is going to kill me to begin with, so I don't need to organize that stuff. Customize your theme. I think you said that was ported over from another Pixel app.
Yeah, the Pixel and some Android in general is starting to see some of these integrations happen where, you want a cool background, well, describe it in an AI and it'll spit back a cool background. So I think it's popular in the Android world and in the Pixel world, or rather. And why not have another Me Too moment over in Chrome? It exposes it to a little bit larger audience, especially those that might have a iPhone that can't do this yet, and say, hey, maybe Android's kind of cool too. And I think so. Marketing maybe.
Yeah. And then the last portion of it, which I thought was pretty interesting, get help with writing things on the web, like forum posts, online reviews, and more. That, again, sounds like Copilot. I'm curious how the two are going to play against each other on that, especially with Chrome and then Edge from Microsoft. So interesting things there. Later on down in the article, it also talks about, where did it go? Sorry, losing my mind here. It says while the drafting feature won't arrive until next month's Chrome release, Google says that with the other features like the tab organizer and the AI creator theme, it will roll out over the next few days in the US on both Mac and Windows with the current Chrome release M121. Okay, interesting.
I think this is kind of a good play. I'm glad to see Google get into this space because Microsoft is diving deep into it, and Copilot, it's impressive. It really is. I think we'll probably do some follow up videos, maybe walking through how do I use Copilot in PowerPoint or something like that. Why would I want to use this, and how's the tool leverage? But I think more importantly, with Google doing this is a precursor for them integrating this into their, Google Docs, Sheets,
their business apps,
all the other
G Suite.
Exactly. This is where I think they're going to say, okay, we're going to be able to do that too, and because G Suite is incredibly popular, especially in the education world.
Yes.
And it's just it. Here's my fear. You can create a lot of cool stuff with AI as long as it's tempered, especially with education.
Yes.
You still need to learn how to write, and hopefully you're reading whatever it writes because we've talked about this in the past. AI can be a little off the wall when it comes back with an answer. Make sure the answer is remotely in the area you were trying to attempt. So I think this is a precursor to it. Google is slowly moving forward with it. We're going to see it more and more. I wouldn't be surprised, down the road, we'll see Apple do the same thing with pages and numbers and stuff like that, and start to integrate it probably into messages because, God forbid you type your own message, you have an AI write it for you. But We'll see it more and more being prolific throughout their ecosystems, and this is Google's first stab at that. That's my 2 cents.
I wonder if they're going to do like Copilot did and put it behind, eventually at some point behind a paywall. If you get the turbo version where, I get now twin turbo on Google AI, what's it going to cost me either for my personal use, kind of like Copilot Pro, or with some of the Google apps? That I think is going to see where you're going to see a lot of people shift. There's loyalists in the Microsoft world, there's loyalists in the Google world. Who's gonna win that on the money game?
It's interesting because I think that's where, going back to the previous point there on, Google's, docs, sheets, and so on and so forth in that workspace world, they have to do that because that's where the subscription fee is going to be a bump up to whatever the normal per user rate is to get access to those tools.
Yeah.
And just like Microsoft did with M365 and all the tools that are centric around that, because Edge browser, that's been free for a long time, and it gave you the first taste of what Gen AI can do within the Edge browser. And then they're doing the same thing within, they have the ability to do that obviously within Windows 11. And I bet you anything we're going to start seeing this in Chrome OS thing on the Chromebooks. There's no reason why they won't do it there too.
Yeah, I'm curious though. They said about the theme organizer, especially in the education space. Though a busy theme could be distracting, the feature at least allows users who don't have an Android phone to test drive Google's generative AI for personalization. So if their kids have an iPhone and they got a Chromebook for school, kind of like mine does, I think yours does as well. It returning a more basic theme for day-to-day use. That's interesting if that's going to be rolled out in the education space, and if they're going to try to curtail it to keep kids focused on what they're doing at school.
Well, that and again, I think it's still a great marketing program because kids are at least the younger age group, not us.
Yeah, exactly.
Is they're more iPhone centric, especially in the U.S. Nothing, and we're seeing that in other areas of the world as well. Nothing, but Android has a really good play here. Microsoft has a really good play, and they have a huge adoption of Android too. With the interconnections to the Windows ecosystem. So I think this might be a time where I think we look through 2024 and seeing what is the adoption rate of in the mobile space, and then is there any shift in the market, in the actual market consumption. So we're gonna have to watch those numbers, but I think AI is going to be one of those driving features that could push somebody to leave a Mac and go to the Windows world or Chrome OS or something like that, and what were staples in the consumer market might see a shift.
Yeah, I saw an interesting post on this on the article. Somebody posted on this says, "Does this mean all my data in Google Sheets, Google Docs, and elsewhere is now up for examination by AI?" Well, if you're just thinking about that now, you're probably behind the eight ball because that's already been happening. Seems like these guys, and referring to Google, are just using all of us to train the machines and create something no one really asked for. What is it with themes? Now, I have to agree with that. Themes, okay, sure. How much work goes into creating themes and avatars that no one uses? So that's kind of a negative side of it. But I think it's an interesting piece to ask. How much prettying things up just to make people want to gravitate to it? I get it. It's devices like you and I have. We work with them on a day-to-day basis. They're not accessories as far as we think they are. But I don't know. It's going to get interesting in the long term to see how this plays out and who wins the AI war. Heaven forbid Skynet comes around.
Well, and data privacy, these companies can talk about it all they want. I mean, there's going to be a blurred line there, no matter where we go with this, with AI. But
Yep.
It reminds me of an old guy I worked with in security space. He goes, "You want a secure network? Great, unplug it."
Yep. What was it referred to? Government designation, was it C2 or C4? And essentially, that was connected to nothing.
Yeah. The ultimate, air gap. Turn the power off.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, we'll see. Now, data privacy is something we obviously will continue to watch, but I'm excited by this. I think it's finally going to put some more competition in the marketplace. I think I want to see this start to get adopted outside the browser into the greater Google ecosystem, just like we saw with Microsoft and Copilot. And it's going to be an exciting time. I'm looking forward to it.
I agree. So tell us what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you stoked at this? Which version of AI are you using? Using Microsoft, using Google? Eventually, when Apple comes out with theirs outside of the Vision Pro, let us know in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, all.